What do I rate Kelly on a scale of 1 to 10? I'd say Kelly's a solid 7, but
Woo!
the fact that she's a virgin moves her up to an 8. Now, let me explain my scale. Let me explain.
Yo, that's a hot take.
Let me explain this to you. I don't want to like out you or anything, but you're a young man, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, when you get to be like 39, 40 years old, finding a girl that's not all skanked out, 38 years old, no kids, and easy to mac like that, bro, an easy 7. You know what I mean? She's not like she's not like awful. If you put her in some nice clothes, taught her how to do some makeup, got her nails done, like yo, she'd be serviceable for sure.
Man, I'll put it like this. The fact that she's never had any real sexual partners, it'll put her up to a 5 on my scale. But if she did have sex with Wings, she's a solid 3. Like, and that's from my point of view, that's on my scaling system. But, well, I don't know. Giving her an 8, that might be a hot take. But I'm young 20s, so I don't know how the rating system goes.
You're young
for 40-year-olds.
Wait till you see the dated pool in your late 30s, yo. It's a fucking swamp, yo. It's my swamp. You know? It's fucking...
Oh fuck. But hey, I got a question for you. This kind of ties into what we were talking about at the beginning of the interview, but the number one most disturbing thing about Wings is the things that he says about kids. Would you say that Kelly thinks that Richard is a pedophile? Like, do you think that she sees what we see and she actually believes that he might actually have some pedophile tendencies?
Man. The evidence is damning though. Like, isn't it like how like she could say that she hasn't seen all the shit, right? But I showed you a screenshot that I literally linked her. I was like talking to her about I was like he literally was talking about fucking underage fucking shit again on Scream, and she was like, oh no, that's just old clips they're bringing up. I was like, no, like this is recent, and I linked her to Mr. Yolo Dick's most recent video, and fucking she was like, yeah, I don't really need this right now, this is fucking stressing me out. And then she started feeling sick from all the fucking like stress and shit like that. So the fact that she felt sick afterwards of seeing that definitely tells me that she does not feel great about the things he said online about the cheese pizza.
Yeah, I know it. Like, she is probably disturbed by it, but
if it's causing you physical manifestations of sickness, then yeah, it's got to be disturbing.
So would you say, like, indefinite, that she believes that he's a pedophile?
I don't know. I think she doesn't want to believe it. I think she's in denial. I think deep down inside she might have some sort of feelings towards it, but I think she's suppressed those feelings so much that she actually like that Stockholm syndrome type shit. Like, she actually believes like the shit that he says and like the lies that he makes up about it.
Yeah. All right. I think we agree for the most part. That's some common ground. Like, some people will say, oh, he's not a full blown out pedophile, this and that, but I feel like anybody that sexualizes kids in any sort of manner,
like,
in any sort of fashion, is a pedophile.
I wouldn't let him fucking around any fucking young children in my fucking care. Hell no. No, it's fucking...
Yeah.
That's a dead no.
I think...
the enema story is enough, bro.
Oh, bro. Don't get me started on that. Don't get me started on that. That shit makes me wheezy when I hear that clip.
Yo, there's even like worse shit, like fucking where Wings was like talking on PKA. Like, I'm not sure if this clip has been archived. It's a really hard clip to find, but I used to watch PKA back in the day, and I remember back before he told the whole enema story, he was talking about like it's impossible to not get sexually aroused from an enema and shit like that, and like...
Oh yeah.
That fucking...
Yeah, like, that recently just got brought back up.
Yeah, has it? Has that come back up? That's a very...
It hasn't been re-released. Clip. It hasn't been re-released, but Yeah, I've heard about it recently.
Yeah, no, that's a very, very like old clip.
So, all right, yeah, we could go back to answering the chat questions. I just had to ask you that because, it's like the most disturbing thing about Wings, and I just wanted to
Yeah, no,
see what you thought
definitely,
Kelly
I
thought
would
of the
not leave
situation.
children in his care at all, personally. And maybe that's why Kelly's not in a rush to like try to like have kids or adopt kids. Maybe she kind of feels like having kids in the house might be like, maybe she sees how he treats the animals and shit, and she's like, do I want to have kids with that?
Yeah, I agree.
Because when I was talking to her about not being able to have kids with my fucking wife, why don't y'all adopt? And she was like, he's not gonna have kids. He doesn't want kids. So, like, he's not willing to compromise on that.
Yeah.
Which is
all right,
probably
boys,
for
everybody
the
in
best.
the chat. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying.
Oh,
which
bro,
is
without a
probably for the
doubt,
best,
like,
given his
without a
track
doubt,
record.
without a doubt, like he's got such a huge track record that is disturbing when it comes to him being around kids. Like it's true, it's a blessing that Wings can't reproduce, and it's a blessing that they haven't adopted anything. Because like, look at how he's treated the dogs and the animals that are in his household and outside of his household. Look at how he treated, whose dog was that was barking the day he kicked that kennel. And so I could just see it now. If they did have a kid and it was crying in the other room, and he was streaming, how pissed off he would get. Like, if he's playing the game now and one of the people on his team has a kid and the baby's in the background crying and the guy's girlfriend or whoever is taking care of the kid, Wings is like, I can't take that shit, man. You got to mute. Like, it's a blessing he's not around kids.
Especially, like, even if you take all the cheese pizza out of it, how he said he would handle it if his kid was gay. Like, we all remember that fucking clip, and we're living in 2022 where like there's a very high possibility that you might have a kid that's bisexual at very least. She has not talked about his hygiene at all. Just about the fact that he fucking like refuses to fucking eat healthy or try to eat healthy.
I just sent you the screenshot. It's an 11-year-old comment, by the way.
Wow. So here's a comment from Wings's, I guess, YouTube channel from a long time ago that's talking about, Wings, you're always talking about blanking kids. Now you're talking about Gabe, which was Brandy's child. Or Charlene's. It was Charlene's kid having an enlarged colon.
Yeah.
What have you done to that poor child? And that's like right around the time that he was talking about like, sexualizing enemas and, it being impossible to give somebody an enema without them getting, fucking physically erect, because he's like, I think he was trying to like say, like the same thing he was trying to say like with his sister. Like he was like, oh, biologically her pussy stinks. I could smell it. And he's like making comments about it. And like he's like, biologically, because you're sticking something up in the ass and stimulating the prostate, that they're gonna get fucking sexually aroused from it and shit. And like he's trying to fucking trying to paint this in type of light that he's fucking, I don't know, like I guess he was setting it up for the whole enema story that he was gonna be telling on PKA. So.
And you can't forget that Gabe was 6 years old at the time. You can't leave that out. He is 6 years old.
And nobody's ever found out why Charlene just decided to up and leave him randomly, like in the middle of the fucking night. She packed up all her shit and fucking bounced out of there. Like maybe people need to find Charlene.
We need to have an interview with Shailene.
Yeah, and find out exactly what the fuck went on in that house.
Yes. Somebody asked if, do you believe that Kelly truly loves Wings?
In some sick sort of way, yeah. I think she does. And that's the saddest part of all that is like she's willing to stand by her man and fucking go down with the ship. And that's like the worst part of it all. Like she actually really fucking loves him. Like Wings of Redemption is what she wants. That's the man that she went and set out to fucking get. And fucking like, I remember there was a time on PKA where he was dogging her and talking about, hell no, I wouldn't ever date her, blah, 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 yada, yada, bing, boom. And then fucking fast forward to 4 years later and fucking out of nowhere, he's fucking marrying her. Like he's done it out of convenience, and she's done it out of the fact that she wanted a loving relationship with this motherfucker. And like the saddest part is he doesn't even realize that.
Yeah. So, what do you think is going to be the end result of all this? Do you think that soon Kelly will be so fed up she actually, she takes it to the chin and she's like, I'm done waiting for him to change. He's, 36 going on 37. I really can't take this anymore. I'm out of here. I mean, do you think they're going to get a divorce, or what do you think is going to end up happening?
I hope what ends up happening is like she actually watches some of this content and sees how other people perceive her relationship and what's happening from the outside, and she actually fucking like sees the truth that she should fucking leave him. And the end result would be that she would fucking leave him, or at the very least Wings would realize like maybe I should like give up the internet for my fucking like personal life and get that shit together and fucking do that. Like maybe Wings' Redemption's arc is that he gives up the internet for his wife, or maybe the other way it turns out is Kelly becomes the unexpected hero to come out of this and goes on to live a happy life without Richard.
Somebody had a question, and this is actually a pretty good question. They said, "Has Kelly ever brought up the divorce to you?"
No. She every time I've told her that she should leave him, she's like, "I'm not leaving him." And I was like, okay, that's what you say now.
Somebody asked if she ever brought up him talking about the second surgery.
No, she didn't. But, man, wouldn't that be a fucking crazy arc if that motherfucker actually got another fucking surgery? But
I mean, he brought it up. He said that he was thinking about it. Like, he said somebody in his chat who donated was a surgeon, and they were offering Wings a second surgery, and he said he was really thinking about doing it, but he's never talked about it since.
Bro, he it's not gonna work for him. Like, he actively worked to stretch his fucking stomach back out to the proportion that it's in. Like, I'm gonna have to bring it up. Where's fucking Mr. YOLO Dick's newest video?
Somebody else wants to know, or this is a question I've seen a lot in the chat. They want to know if you truly like Kelly, like, and if you do, in what ways do you like her?
Okay, before I answer that, this is how hard he actively worked over the last 2 years to fucking stretch his stomach back out. The man is literally built like a fucking cheeseburger, bro. He's got a fucking bun. He's got a fucking hamburger. He's got a fucking other bun here. Fucking, like, I want to fucking, dude, he looks delicious. Look at this motherfucker, yo. He's made up of every fast food ever made, yo. You take a bite of that and it's fucking, like, literally the perfect food. Like Cartman's ass. Like, fucking, dude. He says his favorite fucking food is boneless wings. And this man is nothing but boneless wings. Like, that is literally what the fuck he is. But yeah, no, I told y'all, yeah, 100%. I actively started liking Kelly, and I thought she was a really sweet girl. And the problem with that is the more that I liked her, the more I started asking more personal questions about like her and Wings and things like that, and asking her how she felt about, like, the fucking the allegations with the kids and all that shit. And like, the more she stuck by him, the more it showed me that she's not going to leave him, and he's making her look bad by proxy because she's a good person standing by doing nothing while he's doing all this awful things on the fucking internet. And I was like, that was when I decided, I was like, bro, I'm just going to try to get as much fucking information as I can and expose it.
They want to know if Kelly talked to you about this real talk situation, like you coming on here and talking about this, everything that's going on. What did she have to say about you coming on Real Talk and
she asked
kind
me
of
not
outing this entire situation?
She asked me not to come on Real Talk. She was like, please don't. And I was like, I won't if you don't block me. And then she blocked me like an hour later, and fucking that's when I was like, yeah, yo, fuck it, let's go. Let's fucking full send, bro. Let's do it.
The DMs will be released. I don't know how many more DMs there could possibly be. There's like 3 weeks worth. I mean, Morning After Killer sent me a fuckload. I mean, I'm talking about a fuckload. But those will end up being released again in a part 2 video, and I'm gonna collaborate with Mr. Yellow Dick Swagger to put these out. But
yeah, we're gonna pull from the PKA archives on this one.
somebody said that she's sleeping outside with Bongo now in the shed. Oh, okay. So this is a good question. They said, did she talk about what her parents think about Wings, and how about her going to church?
She says she goes to church every Sunday. Wings doesn't go to church or get involved in any of the youth group activities that her and her niece are involved in. I told her when I was like, why did you marry him when you had Edmonton Skeptic warn you, your mother, and your nieces with all this fucking information? They linked them the videos of him saying, I'm about to have all this health insurance. You remember that, right? I'm pretty sure everybody does.
Yeah.
And fucking...
Yeah, everybody knows about the health insurance.
And she was like, yeah, my mom told... Her mom told him not to. And, like, her mom told... You know, he asked them for permission to fucking marry her. Her parents said, no, it's not right. Kelly's still, like, getting over her fucking surgery from fucking cancer and all that shit. And he went and popped the question anyway. He bought a ring and popped the question, knowing full well Kelly's gonna say yes, because it's all she ever wanted to be, was a fucking wife. You know what I mean? So, like, Kelly's family definitely doesn't really interact with their family very often. Her family lives like, I think her mom's like an hour and a half away, so like she doesn't really get to see her mom as often as she likes. She kind of like misses her friends back home and shit.
So does Kelly's parents like Wings, or are you saying that they're not too fond?
No, they don't approve. They don't approve of. They like I said, Edmonton Skeptic like hit up the whole family before fucking they got married, and they tried to talk her out of it, and she still went through with it. And I asked her, I was like, why would you go through with it still? And she goes, I didn't think it was gonna be this bad. And I was like, to be honest, I think
that's exactly what she told me.
Marrying Wings escalated things, because he started getting like this whole ego complex. Like, he lost weight, he had a Mustang, now he had a wife, and he could step up to the plate anytime he wants. Pimp, remember? You know, just fucking. And he was feeling himself, you know.
Man, the thing is like, I remember at one point, Wings said, "Oh yeah, you know, my mama, she doesn't really like Kelly. You know, they're arguing, they're fighting about something, like, you know, Kelly and Wings' mom." But he would always claim that Kelly's parents loved him, like they just adored him, like he was just a god and a savior for Kelly. And it's funny hearing you tell us that it's actually the complete opposite.
How is that a fact when he's been waiting 6 months for her dad to come over and hang the Braves jersey? Because by his words, I'm not a carpenter. You don't gotta be a carpenter to hang a fucking picture on the wall, bro. Like, come on. He doesn't like I even said this in a DM to Kelly. I was like, bro, she was like, he has a traditional, because I told her, I was like, he treats you like gangsta granny. And she was like, well, he has a very traditional sense of what, like, a man and woman's roles is. And I was like, well, what the fuck is his role as a man? Like, he's not, like, he can't fucking hang shit on the wall. He doesn't change no oil. He can't fix no fucking car. He just sits there. I was like, he's the fucking child in the relationship. And she was like, can we please stop talking about this and let's be more positive and talk about, like, the Braves winning fucking playoffs and shit. That's the worst thing is, that's like, dude, that jersey she bought him isn't cheap. That's like a fucking World Series authentic fucking, like, Braves. That's like a $500 jersey that he just got sitting on the fucking ground behind him. Like, that just shows how much that he cares about the relationship.
This is a good question.
Was that?
This is a good question by Cobra. He said, did Wings have anything to do with Kelly losing her job? Like, did Kelly ever bring that up? You know, because from our understanding, Wings said that Kelly was having a rough time at work. He didn't like that she was working all the time. Like, he was like, man, I never get to spend time with my wife because she works so many hours, and then she comes home and she's tired. So I never get to, spend time with Kelly. And so he asked her to quit her job, and it's always been our assumption that he asked her to quit her job, and and then he just went off the deep end and just never spends time with his wife anymore at all. And I think he regrets it. So did she ever bring that up?
That didn't come up because when I first started talking to Kelly, she just started some new at-home job that she has right now. So I don't know anything about her prior like work or like history with.
Oh, okay. Yeah.